Good morning, viewers. Good morning, wherever you are across the continent of Africa. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television, the only television south of Sahara that online that looks at issues that affect Africa. What affects Africa? What ails Africa? What kills Africa? Why? Yet we have everything. We have sunshine, we have water, we have forests, we have trees, we have good everything. The weather, fantastic in most parts of Africa, apart from the Sahara Desert, where water is scarce. 3/4 of Africa has almost everything. But what ails us? What makes us look like a second-class citizens on planet Earth? What is it that we do very badly? Corruption everywhere. I'm glad that this morning the British government has signed an agreement on to fight corruption. And I thank the people, Her Majesty's government, again today, for signing an MOU with the government of Republic of Kenya in the fight that if you do corruption in Kenya, don't step in the United Kingdom. Hallelujah! If you do corruption in Kenya, hakuna kutembea huko. That is a plus. That's how the Commonwealth, if the results can come that way, that is very good. Any corruption done by any British company, if you are in Kenya, you do corruption, you get the money from the United Kingdom, we shall arrest you. Like we have arrested Mr. Sata of Malawi, and we are waiting to arrest the Mr. Deputy President of Malawi if he steps in the United Kingdom. He will be arrested. He paid, he got the bribes. Good morning. That's a topic, by the way. Another topic is President Uhuru Kenyatta has just arrived in Rwanda, where he will be part of the Commonwealth Heads of State. And I don't know whether he will be there, then run back to chair the Azimio meeting at the KICC, where it will be chaired by the deputy. Oh, yes. I can see Douglas. There you are. Thank you very much. Now you can save a lot of time. On the panel now this morning, we shall begin with the legacy of farming, agriculture. Uhuru Kenyatta promised us agriculture and the legacy of farming. People say no jobs, no jobs. This young man here, I call him young because he's younger than me. I am 67 and he's still somewhere in the 30s.
Exactly.
Yes, he has gone back home. He is doing very well, and it is one of our legacy points that we want to promote here on this television. This is something I'm proud of. We have been together, friends, and they said, you come and test my chilies, come and test my things, come and see how we have grown things from nothing, but he earns a living today. He's not crying for jobs. More people are crying for more jobs from him. Thank you very much. Welcome to our show, Marshall Jackson Kifokilo. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you very much. You can hear me well?
We hear you well and hold the fire.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You were on 2 phones. Now I come back to
appreciate the opportunity.
Now yes, there you are. We are now back
okay.
in the other system, and we have switched off this so that you are not on it again. Thank you very much. Good morning. This is Unfiltered Show. Good morning, Miriam, in the headquarters of...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bwana David. Yeah, since the starts off.
Yes, yeah, I think Miriam, Paul, Juliet, Douglas, good morning. The gentleman says before the network goes off, because he's deep in the farm in Safo, around the Safo National Park. Let him tell us more about what he does. Good morning. Go ahead, Marshall. You have moved again to another place where we cannot hear.
Thank you very much. I hope everyone can hear and get me.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yes.
Yes, we can't hear you. I think let me bring you back to your telephone so that you can talk through the telephone. We hear you.
In case of any network problem, then David, you my name is Marshall Jackson Kipai. All the studies in the different fields, one field, concept, on farming with less chemicals and really trying to use ethics of nature to ensure the conservation and the chemicals cannot be. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
No, we can't hear
you. A bit. We are not hearing you a bit at all. Are you hearing him, Miriam? No. Okay. Oh my God.
Abdona Matanga, I'll appreciate you can remain here, but you can make a call.
Let me call you stay on that line and let me call you, then you can go. At least on the other one, we are hearing you.
He's being asked not to move around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Don't move around. Stay in one place.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Can you answer the phone now? Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is very clear. You're hearing me?
We hear you now. Do you all hear him now?
Yeah, namsikiza.
Aya, sawa. Endelea. This is unfiltered program. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me get back by introducing myself. I said my name is Marshall Jackson Kitokilo. I'm a Kenyan. I am of polymath. Polymath in the sense that I've studied different fields, but all of them going to the ethics or epochs of nature, uniting at one central point of expertise, and that is agricultural anthropology. Agricultural anthropology, looking at the cultural perspective of farming from the agrarian revolution up to this day, and then ensuring that organic agriculture, regenerative agriculture, other than synthetic agriculture, takes root in Africa and takes root also in my own farm. Yeah, I have studied. I have
Go on.
Yes, I have my own background in media journalism, I've got a background in medical anthropology and clinical herbalism, and therefore I'm involved within the scope of agriculture. When I talk of agricultural anthropology, this is biodynamic agriculture, regenerative agriculture, but I've got very less love for synthetic agriculture, use of chemicals for agricultural production. I have done my own private-based research to ascertain if what I believe and stand for really works, and I can really testify that it really works. And yeah, I've really come out from the grass. I really tried. I've traveled so much in East and Central Africa, really trying to attend different conferences, different learning centers, and also as an expert, really giving out a lot of guidance to people in terms of climatic smart agriculture, in terms of being a trainer of trainees in agricultural area, and doing different facilitations with different institutions. I am a farmer because I must practice what I really believe and stand for.
Thank you very much, Marshall. Now, Marshall,
yes,
you know very well the government has got the Big Four agenda.
Exactly.
And you took up the message of His Excellency the President and decided to go and say, since you read agriculture and agricultural anthropology, you need to put it in practice. And you see, you have a background of a media, you're a media person. And you have been my friend for quite a long time, calling me to come to the farm to test some of those fruits. what are the initial difficulties that you had when you are setting up that farm?
Truth be told, the initial difficulties, many would speak of capital, but to me that's financial capital. But to me, I will speak of mental capital. The mental capital, this is where you have got the right brains, the right inclination in terms of thoughts. You have done proper analysis and research, and then you move ahead. If you miss this one, then you cannot do it. And it requires right positive motivation, because the society by itself, there is a very big negative motivation towards agriculture because of those who love white collar jobs. As you've seen me previously, before turning out swamp areas into sponge gardens and people growing our food throughout the year, it's more quite easy. When I wear a suit, I get into the office, I'm like a white collar man. But when I wear my apron, I wear all those all other clothes that I look like a farmer. Nobody will really think that a lot of money we make from the farms. So this has been the really difficulty, what I would call the mental capital. You miss it, you don't get it right. The right brain will always attract the right money in agriculture.
So how did you probably get some money? Because most of the youth listening, those in the legacy, did the government assist you? Have you got any help from the government? We have been a model. You have been a model online, on sending these pictures. And I want to promise you from today, all your pictures will be running, and I will put the number for people to come and buy your produce, because you have inspired very many people, very many younger people who have been seeing your pictures on Facebook and Twitter and so many places. Did you get any help from the government, the banks, or where did you get your initial capital?
No, I didn't get any initial capital from any government or from any bank. The capital is what I've raised my own self from a very low background to where I am. It calls for a lot of patience, it calls for a lot of practice. And I give out a very essential example. If I've got a local chicken that has given chicks around 15 of them, and I raised up to 10, and then I've got cats. Yeah, I've got around 9 cats. I tell the people around me that if you need one cat, the small cat, the kitten, then we have to exchange with one chick. This is how I raise. This is the anthropological point of agriculture. I've really tried to make it. But besides this one, I've also tried to grow up my consultancy system as a person. I visit farms, I explain to people, and what they pay me, even if I began with very little pay from farms, because I was also doing a lot of practice to gain experience. Yeah, and what they were paying me is what I've used to raise myself from level to level without involving the banks or the government. I now believe in the philosophy that ask not what the government can do for you, but ask what you can do for the government. There is a lot of opportunities in agriculture which are underexploited. And unless you have got the brain, the mental capital right, you will miss it waiting for the government.
Thank you very much. You'll miss it asking for what you can do, but not what the government should do for you. Many of the youths in Kenya, many of them hang out, many of them go for handouts. We are not mixing politics here, because we don't want to discuss politics when we are discussing food, because for food has no choice, or you have no choice when it comes to food. You have to eat in order to do politics.
Exactly.
Many people would like to actually come out. In your consultancy, have you teamed up with agriculture of the government? Those model on microfinancing, do you intend to go that route, or you want to remain in that until you build an empire?
I strongly believe in building a legacy. I strongly believe in building a legacy in a trend that is not with many people. And I really consult the government expert officers who are quite of my friends, not only within Kenya, but also Uganda, Malawi, some from Rwanda. Tanzania, and some as far as Zambia. We do a lot of consultancies. I belong to a pool of regenerative and ecological farmers association of Africa, which has got different people. I have studied a diploma in regenerative agriculture from EGG, and some of my colleagues have been PhD holders and lecturers in different universities of the world. I really consult them, but I'm building a legacy that it doesn't really need so much for you to depend on handouts. It doesn't really depend so much for you to wait for the government to activate for you, but you can follow a thin layer of the underutilized crops in Africa and make a living. When I speak of the underutilized crops in Africa and make a living, for example, if you grow 200 suckers of arrowroots, Nduma, you should expect after 4 to 5 months by using the seaweed fertilizer that I'm partly part of the producers and I do market, then you're going to harvest. And one Nduma should give you 1 kilo, meaning 200 pieces should give you one sack of 150 kilos. This is around 6,000 to 8,000 Kenyan shillings now. But if you do 1 acre, which is 28,000 suckers, then you're in a capacity to get many bags and to earn about 500,000. So are we waiting for the government to come and help you grow arrowroot suckers, which are available in every farm? You just need a small portion of land. No, we should not wait for this.
Okay.
So I'm building a legacy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You stay on the line. One way or the other, Duma is an excellent food for our people. In fact, Duma is, I am now going to tell you to be packing in the box every week. Send it to me. I will send you my address so that I eat. It's one of the foods that they have recommended that I should be eating every morning.
Thank you very much. It's my food daily.
and I can see Juliet Mahapira from Rwanda, Kigali, at the Commonwealth some on one of those sideline conferences, smiling and saying she is a Kenyan. Duma is the best food. And across, I can see Marshall, you have impressed us and stay with us as our legacy contact to show other younger generation, to show other people that you are able, you are now talking to millions, and your concepts are going to be taken millions and millions across, not only in Kenya. I knew you through the Uganda politics, and that's how we came to exchange views on social media. But here we are. You have done it very well. You are under 40. You are not sitting looking for money from the people. Excellent food, and you are being told by Juliet Mahapira. Juliet, can you thank our guest today and encourage him? We have opened the mic for you, please.
Thank you so much, Punch Africa, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world you're watching from. But I want to appreciate Marshall for the work that you're doing, and even presenting the biodiversity of foods that Africa has got, and in particular Kenya. And I believe that this is underutilized, like you are explaining to us this morning. So I want to appreciate your job, and even appreciate, for someone to tell you here today, Dr. that they are an anthropologist. I'm a social scientist myself, so I know that an agriculturalist who is able to look at the soil, to see what food is able to grow best in our country, and then you see he's saying
Juliet,
that he has gone to speak to our president. I'm absolutely delighted to hear from him.
Of late, when you are saying you are a social scientist, please state your university and state your OBs, the old men, the old girls. Please. Yes, Juliet.
Asante sana, Daktari. Delighted to say that I went to the same school as you as well. So yes, I went to London
Metropolitan University.
Yes, London.
Yes, because some people like Sakaja can't tell their OB, but at least you were one class or two classes behind me, and Thank you very much, Juliet, in London.
And I love your
University.
school of thought as well, our legend. I like to say that. I love your school of thought, and especially when it comes to supporting Africa to be self-sustaining and also Africa to think what and how we can improve our livelihood as a people. I want to appreciate your life here today, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. Douglas Kirimi, before I come, I hand over the microphone. What are the good words that you can give to our brother Jackson, Marshall Jackson from Taita Taveta?
Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga, and good morning to my co-panelists and our friends across the world. Marshall Jackson Kithokiro is a good example to what resilience can do, what hard work can do, and what a determined young person in the face of the challenges in our country and especially in Africa can be able to do. And he has also said very categorically that his success has not been as a result of a seed capital that he received from government or any other place. It's part of his work. It's part of what he has been able to believe and also put into actualization. Jackson belongs to a class of his own, but I believe that whatever Jackson is doing, many young people can be able to replicate, or young people are replicating across the country. And it is something that we should emulate as young people. We can get into agriculture. There's something they say in Swahili, ukulima sio ushamba, that going back to the farm is not backwardness. And I also believe that as young people, we can be able to also benchmark with what Jackson is doing across in Taita Taveta. We can be able to replicate that in Meru and other places in this country so that we can also become food secure, contribute to the Big Four agenda, especially on food security for our own country, Dr. David Matsanga. Thank you.
Thank you very
Jackson,
much.
keep up.
Nyango.
Yes, Dr. I appreciate
Speak.
my brother, Mr. Jackson. Yes. I really love farming. I know how to plow with the ox. I did it sometimes back. I love farming so much.
Okay, we are going to, very soon, next week, God willing, inshallah, we shall be seeing Jackson, Marshall Jackson, in his farm on our way to the coastal legacy, the legacy trend activities, to view the infrastructure, the farming, the industries. We are going to do one round across the country in all regions. And Onyango, you are one of them. Douglas, you are one of them of us. That's why I thank you, Douglas, for the good heart you have come and say you will not leave your dad hanging alone. Since Wachikoya has left me, and the only person I can look at, because your dad and Wachikoya were great friends, and they were my great friends.
Yes, you can.
And then Wachikoya has gone in a route that I don't understand. But thank you for coming, Douglas and Paul Onyango. And now Marshall Jackson himself will be here on phone to upgrade us. Which other method he has gone to do? What does he want to do? Miriam, back in the studio to you. And a good word for this young man, Marshall Jackson, who is doing a legacy in farming, who is right now on his farm, producing, in fact, Duma. He has talked about Duma. I'm sending my PA right now to be around here to buy some pieces so that I can try to cook. As you know, I cook my own food, Juliet. And that one I learned from London. When you go to London, you think you have a house girl. There's no house girl in London. And if you think you will have a house girl like Uganda or Kenya, you might go house girl in London. You pay her £900 per month. Where will you get it when you don't have even a pound yourself? So thank you very much. Back to you, Miriam. Any good words for Jackson as you start us off? And Jackson might be going back to tilt the farms. But for today, Jackson, just watch the program. This YouTube will be given to you so you can spread it to your friends, to millions of your friends. so that you can play yourself. You have spoken. And feel free, we are going to be advertising you every day. You have learned one good word called anthropological agriculture. Woo. Thank you very much. Miriam Ogutu, back in the headquarters. Yes, Onyango, you had something to say?
I had something to say just to add on to Mr. Jackson. I was just asking him if we can allow some video shoot be footage of the farm such that it can be part of advertisement, or maybe be part of...
No, we have done that already.
Okay.
That one is for us, not for you. We have done it, Onyango. I have already got it. It is going to be displayed here. In fact, you will be enjoying the pictures so that we can teach as many as possible. The advert, it is for free for me. We don't ask for money from people to advertise on this television. We are encouraging people. The legacy trend will do that. And that is project, and it will be done here very seriously. Marshall, thank you very much. Thank you, Paul, for reminding us. But we have the pictures. Paul, your last word as we switch on to Miriam before she brings us the main news. Yes.
I've completed my statement.
Yeah, the Marshall Jackson, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in brief, as I wondered, let me say there's a lot of power possibilities in farming. And any young man who wants to get involved in farming should really get the opportunity to make a correct analysis and look at what is possible at his own level. Like right now, sugarcane is fetching good money. Yeah, the sugarcane for chewing, not the one for sugar production, pumpkins. Yeah, we have amla, we have strawberries. We have even other people who are purchasing black tea hooks. So this is something that is common and everybody can do. But as I wondered, let me add that I've got also two more products. One is organic seaweed folia, that we are harvesting seaweed from Mombasa and producing a folia, peat folia, that is a cocktail with the fertilizer prices which has gone up globally. To me, I'm insisting to farmers, get the organic seaweed fertilizer. It has got everything. It's quite cheap, 5 liters, has got 100 knapsacks. It's 4,000, and it's really going to help you throughout. You don't need to buy any other foliar fertilizer. But we are also producing, I'm also involved in production of animal feed supplements from herbal plants, which are quite good in enhancing and sustaining the health of animals to reduce antimicrobial resistance. And this is the mother thing that we are producing in Uganda and supplying in East Africa.
Oh my, thank you very much. Marshall Jackson, our agriculture, the legacy trend, brings you Marshall Jackson together with his farming skills of anthropological. Is it anthropological agriculture?
It is agricultural anthropology. Agricultural anthropology.
Agriculture anthropology.
Yes.
This is anthropology, by the way, is the study of how objects change, isn't it? How things look
exactly.
like. I think for people who studied J. A. Bright and Ogundi Payne, you better know anthropological. Don't go to the Google. My Google is here. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, but I have to bring in that, because at times you go to interviews and they ask you what is agriculture anthropology. And what is the word, the meaning of anthropology? You don't have your telephone. Some of these people these days, the younger people, they Google. You see them fiddling with the phones. They are Googling. You know, learn these things, these words. The dictionary should be with you. Douglas Kireme. Thank you from Umeru, my brother. Thank you very much. Anthropological traits. When we say you have anthropological traits, ukona ule ile, some traits, something that shows something is like that, like that. I think that's how I started learning these big words of Bazungu. I changed it into my natural language. And thank you very much. Back to you in the studios, and all the time, let's see Miriam, any good word for this farmer? I am looking for that Duma back in Nairobi.
I just have a question.
You have a question? He's here. He's here to hear the question. Yes.
Good morning, Marshall.
Marshall.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, good. Miriam is asking you a question.
Yes.
Yeah, because I can see you're a relatively young person. So do you think, why do you think we don't have a lot of young people involved in agriculture? Is it because we've not created enough awareness as a society that agriculture is also something that somebody can do as a means of income? And also it can be just like any other job. And can agriculture, help in addressing the issue of lack of jobs in this country among the young people?
You got the question?
The voice is very low. I really wish quickly you communicate to me the question and I'll give the
I will summarize the question.
Not summarize?
Yes.
But go ahead.
Yes. I will summarize because he's not hearing.
Okay.
The question is, you have been involved in agriculture. You are a younger person.
Yes.
What do you think has discouraged younger people in Kenya not to be involved in agriculture? Isn't that the question, Miriam?
Yes.
Thank you. That's the question.
To me, if that's the question, the answer I'll give it from the perspective of academia. I would say the problem lies within our education curriculum. And that's why I'm really very positive about the CBC, the new competence-based curriculum. Yeah, it requires few changes, but to me it's the best. The curriculum, the post-2000 generation with their curriculum, they have got very less interaction between them and the farms. And their interest is so much in white-collar jobs, they don't want to pay to gain any experience. Patience is not there. Agriculture and the patience work hand in hand. The younger generation are getting discouraged because of this political mischief of believing in quick money, forgeries and so forth, which is not quite okay. So for me, patience remains the big discouragement. Many do not want to remain patient in order to get the best.
Thank you very much, Auli Onyango. Because of what you have done, you have won 2 T-shirts of the Legacy Trend and a cup. I will send it to you on your address. Brother, thank you very much. And keep it going. I like to test that Duma, the original.
Very much. I should tell you, Bwana Matanga, that even right now I'm working I'm finalizing on exporting pumpkin leaves and cassava leaves and even entula to Canada.
Entula, which is my favorite Ugandan food. I think.
Yes, the African bitter tomatoes. Even silver mokene, I'm exporting to Canada. I'm working with this.
Oh my God, this is fantastic. Juliet, you are missing quite a lot in Rwanda. It is Entula to a Ugandan. When we hear Entula, I could jump out of this room now. Entula is the best food. And I will tell you offline, Juliet and others, Onyango and Douglas and Miriam, why Entula is very important. Marshall knows why Entula is very important in Ugandan culture. And I hope you are you also farming some fish?
Yes. I'm raising fish because
Paul Onyango would be very interested in fish.
Exactly.
Really? I'm right there.
Sorry. That's why Polo was asking. Polo was asking, advertise. Thank you very much. Thank you. Marshall, if you are not busy, if you are not going to your farm, you can stick around. There is some contentious issue that is coming with Juliet and Miriam. there is something contentious on the IEBC. I think you have been an advocate who said IEBC has worked a bit. But can you now listen to these four other people? They will tell you that as Kenyans, they are very worried. So back to you, Miriam. Let's start off with our topics. That was an excellent. I wanted to give you that that clip, that video that will run around and which we shall put on YouTube, and it is now already on YouTube as we speak. People are watching right now, and you can also have a copy and you will have to give it to your friends to watch. Thank you, and continue doing the good job, one, and be here. We shall be visiting you next week, inshallah.
Thank you very much. I think you and the rest will give me an opportunity to be out of this so that I can attend to some other issues of the farm.
Okay, thank you. What is your view on the IEBC?
My view on the IBC remains it has really improved from 2017, but there's so much that needs to be done. Based on what the Supreme Court ruling and by the way it's going, there is a lot, there is some, I will call it a lot, needs to be done in order to have the right elections. If not, they are not going to work on these nitty-gritties. I fear we might be walking the Sri Lanka way. After the general election, and suppose we have a rerun, the cost of living is going to be used as an opportunity for either opposing side to make the people have Arab Spring like Sri Lanka, and the country is going to be governable. My advice is to Chebukati, to IDC, scale up, on up, and if possible, postpone the election until all the nitty-gritties are put.
Exactly. I think before you go, let me clap for you again. The powers, let me clap for you again. The powers of an election, the powers of all elections in the whole world during election time remain with the Electoral Commission. If the Electoral Commission sees that there are so many inequalities, things are not working, the chairman of the Electoral Commission does not wait for the Supreme Court, does not wait for the higher court, does not. He can nullify the entire election and tell the president, I'm sorry, I cannot handle this election. But dear, we are moving towards, you know there is hell ahead. And God has told you don't go to hell, but you continue doing the things that take you to hell. What will be the result? The fire will burn us. And as you rightly put it, my dear brother Marshall, you have traveled across Africa, and the people on the platform here should know. You have been to every corner of this African continent, trying to do what you are doing right now. People will use this as a springboard, and we might end up in very serious circumstances. It's better to stop a bad election, a badly managed election, than to conduct one which is badly managed, and then we have the results that will come. Thank you. I think you have hit my point.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marshall Jackson. Miriam, back to you. Marshall has asked for an excuse, but he has given you his opinion that if the worst comes to the worst, let's call it a day. Tell President Uhuru Kenyatta things are not very good. Yes.
Absolutely.
And the parliament, isn't the parliament coming back next week? It has been called back. Yes. It has been called back. The parliament did not die. Saying die means just go and have some fresh air while waiting on the tenterhooks. That in case an earthquake comes and takes the Electoral Commission building where computers are stored, will there be an election? God forbid. Because we are in a place for earthquake. It could come anytime. God forbid. Do you hold an election still?
Congo did it. Congo
Yes.
DRC did it.
Nigeria did it. You saw Nigeria at 5 p.m. People were going to election to kill. They understood. He nullified the election at 5:45. The polling stations were going to begin at 6 o'clock. What is this election where Mahapira is not on the ballot? She has got all the degrees you want. She has mobilized her people. She is a woman. And the constitution says women should be given priority. You disqualify her and bring only men on the platform. These are the complaints. You know, by the way, Marshall, this lady here, Juliet Mahapira, was a presidential candidate. And she has never... Yes.
I just learned that right now when I was checking her profile on the Zoom.
Yes.
But I remember going through the politics of Rwanda and now to get exactly that she was there.
Yes. Now, no, she's in Rwanda for the Commonwealth.
Okay, okay.
She's in Rwanda for the Commonwealth. And but she applied to Chebukati. She applied to be on the election, but Chebukati knocked her out. And they have a case with Chebukati in court. Yes, in fact, her court could overrun the election that you are talking about.
Okay, I see.
This is the danger that we have as Africans. We learn from the past mistakes. The Germans, that medium like so much, have learned from the past mistakes. If you go to Germany, Makapira will tell you, and all of you, Marshall, you and others, Douglas, Paul, I tell you, the Germans are very respectable. When people refuse to bring in the Syrian refugees, the Germans said, after all, you went there to create a war. You don't want them to come. Come! They came. They allowed them to come. Look at that. Look at that. And I was writing this morning, I said, I wish there was a place to make an application. If I knew there was a place to make an application to be a refugee, I would not have told my mom not to be born in the womb. I would have kicked the womb. It is very tiresome to be a refugee across the world. But it is again, most of the leaders, including Boris Johnson, was a refugee from Turkey. And today is ruling a great power. So thank you very much. Go your way, go and do your things, Mr. Marshall Jackson. Don't forget, tomorrow we don't work, but Sunday afternoon, avail yourself from 2 o'clock while you are on the farm and fill that modem with units. Talk to us. We want to display most of your products across the whole world. There's a show which goes worldwide, which is viral. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you. Asante.
Asante sana. Thank you, Miriam. Back to you.
Okay, I'll take us through quickly the headlines and then we'll just start with a conversation that has already started. The Standard newspaper, the main headline, what new IEBC numbers reveal. Newly gazetted list of voters indicates that the 2 top presidential candidates will each start off with at least 2 million votes in the strongholds as they take fight to battlegrounds. The story is on page 6 and 7. Newborns at risk of a shortage of vaccines, that is on page 6. Ogiek win 157 million Kenya shillings in rights case at African court, that is on page 3. Nyanza projects dilemma, that is on page 30. And big stars converge at Kasarani, that is on page 50 and 51, and of course the main pictorial, man versus machine, as Safari Rally starts. For the second year running, President Uhuru Kenyatta flagged off the WRC Safari Rally yesterday, and it was a show of pure class as World Rally Champion Sebastian Ogier won in the special stage at Kasarani, that is on page 52. The Star newspaper, Raila, Ruto close ranks in IEBC voter rollout. Both want manual register to complement electronic identification of voters on election day. That is on page 4 and 5. I won't scrap CBC, will hire 116,000 tutors, says Deputy President Ruto. Uhuru convenes Azimio Council to eliminate weak hopefuls, that is on page 6. And of course the main pictorial is on the World Rally Championships there. And the Daily Nation, the main story, under siege. IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati is a man between a rock and a hard place. His decision to do away with the physical voter register on polling day has come back to haunt him. after frontrunners Raila Odinga and William Ruto alongside the civil society ganged up in protest. Will he weather the raging storm? That is on page 4 and 5. Ruto's U-turn on CBC, that is on page 12. Raila offers state jobs to weak Azimio aspirants, that is on page 13. CAS trader lose 10 million Kenya shillings to thieves. That is according to a Treasury. CAS Nelson Gaithue's home walks away with 4 million and 500 worth of jewelry, while 5.7 million was stolen from a Thika business car as he answered a call of nature. That is on page 2. And of course, the main pictorial is President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday when he's chatting with the Safari Rally driver Sebastian Loeb and his navigator Isabel Gamilch during the official flagging off of the 2022 WRC Safari Rally at I guess it was at Kasarani. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers this morning, Doc.
Thank you very much. The newspapers on this side of the globe, let me start quickly. I will not read headline by headline and no explanation. We want to tackle this monster in the house. There is one monster in the house called IEBC, and I believe all of you are eager to go at it. So let's see. Daily news of Tanzania. Lodiondo to remain secured. The Tanzanian army has decided they will not let it go. They have secured the Gorongoro Creator. Occupants were told to get out. The Maasai were thrown, taken to other places, and they want to secure that as their, as their hub for industries in the northern part of Tanzania. And remember, they have sold it to the rich Arabs who sold us and threw us in Indian Ocean and Red Sea. Yes, because we don't have black people in Saudi Arabia. Why? Yet these guys came here and took a lot of our people. At least we can thank America for holding our people today. Some of them have risen up to the point of becoming presidents. But these guys from the Arab, I've been researching on that, and I want Magapira to follow as a social scientist. Why are there no blacks in the Gulf states? Yes, that is a paper in Tanzania. Another citizen, how mobile phones transformed in digital financial services in Tanzania. Things are moved. Everybody, you eat food, they expect you to pay cash, you release the phone. Why? It is very good. In Kenya, we started a long time ago. Kenya, oye. You know now, I'm giving credit where it is due. The Punch, aggrieved National Assembly members plan showdown with governors over lost tickets. There is a showdown in parties in Nigeria. And it is going to loom. It will come out next week in the morning. We expect Nnamdi Kanu to be released from prison, and we shall be covering that live from Abuja. And Nigeria is Nigeria falling apart. Woof! Chinawa Achebe was right. Okay, the nation of Nigeria, defectors, why senators, reps may lose seats. If you defect in Nigeria, you lose the seat and go back. They don't care when the election is tomorrow. That is, Miriam, a credit there. Here, our MPs lose seats and remain there seated permanently and pensioned up to the end. Waruke, your friend. Okay. Detained Ekweremedu wife risks 10-year jail in the UK. Okay. This lady, they had a lot of money. Makapira is not in the UK at the moment. She is in Rwanda. But you should know this lady, the man, husband who had a lot of cash. You know, people are talking about cash, but it's someone who has carried like 10 million pounds. Hey, this is a lot of money in the United Kingdom. Airport staff vote to strike as a threat to disrupt widens. I don't know how some of us are going to fly home when we want to go and see our families in the UK. Things are bad. That's the Guardian. The airport disruption, cargo handling takes almost 1 hour. There are no people to take the cargo. So some of the planes are carrying their own, people who will throw the luggage out of the plane so that the plane can take extra passengers. What a shame for a first world. Okay, the Daily Telegraph, drive for green fuel to be relaxed. Green fuel must work now. Things are very difficult in UK and the European countries because of the Russian-Ukraine conflict. And that is one of strikes time to bring chaos at the start of school holidays. In the UK, the next 2 weeks, everybody will be out of school going to this apportioned sunshine. Africa is very lucky. It has everything, Miriam, including the sunshine, including the cold. Like now, the cold that has come, I'm told in Nairobi, you are feeling very cold. And down here in Mombasa, also, the weather has not been very good. It is rain. There's some rain, actually. Plenty of rain. Mombasa is not as hot as it. But the good thing, it is humid. Even it is not as cold as here. And I believe one of your members of governor of Kiambu will not look for more blankets because the electric blankets can burn. There are so many things he could look for. Real blankets which are in the shop and cover his legs more, or go and walk and get some heat. So that is the news day in Zimbabwe. Police beat up striking nurses. Nurses were beaten up, hospitals are left, patients are on their own in Zimbabwe. Is it the Sri Lanka way? Are we heading there?
Commonwealth for Zimbabwe if they continue.
Oh, there you are. There you come again. Don't please let it go. Have you seen me make any more comment? I have left it to one of the things, Juliet.
No Commonwealth for them.
You will pay cops promise robbers who stole as shoot to kill police is also not ruled out in the going forward. Them keeping big eye on monkeypox. Yes, monkeypox is coming in Africa. Already it's in South Africa. It is only Kenya that is lucky because our monkeys are kept clean. I remember a monkey taking my phone, my new mobile phone in 2007. I was in a Nyali Beach Hotel on top 50th floor where the tree was. I left my food in the balcony. The monkey came and took the food. The phone now, instead of carrying the phone, it dropped in the meat. Because if you have gone to Nyali Beach International Hotel, there is a place where they barbecue food. Nyama, unasema hiyo kabarbecue ako kufanye later. So my phone came from the tree now after the monkey realizing it was a metal. It fell on the meat, it got burned. The hotel paid a new phone. By then it was about 40,000 shillings. It was one of those top range Nokia that had just come in 2007, 8 there. Thank you very much. Monkeypox, not yet in Kenya. Teachers' new demands rejected. Government in Uganda with the president. President Museveni arrives in Rwanda with water. The crowd that met Museveni in Rwanda was huge. And by the way, Museveni drove all the way with his own cars like Gaddafi. And he went by helicopter in some places. Cars went by road. He arrived in Kigali, capital, to a thunderous, can we call it dictatorial? No, Miriam knows how to talk about it. I am out. Thunderous, he has gone to meet, of course, all of them are there. And by the way, this morning, President Uhuru Kenyatta also went, he will be back most likely in the evening or tomorrow, because there are so many urgent things to be done. It's an election time. And that is exactly what is happening. So far, that's the news. Let's come back to us. Miriam introduced the topic.
All right. So I think we the topic we're going to look at IEBC, and as we know, civil society and other parties have brought lawsuit against the IEBC demanding the use of both printed and electronic voter registers. Their concern is that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has said there will only be an electronic registration of voters at polling stations using the KIEMS kit. The fear is of disenfranchising voters or allowing unrecorded voting if those kits fail. The petitioners further argued that the KIEMS must be functional with reliable, stable internet connectivity for it to be able to load the register of voters and then proceed to identify a voter's bio data at the polling station using either the fingerprint or the alphanumerical search. And so that is where we start our conversation this morning.
Thank you very much. Time and time again, we have talked about a bad election, and bad elections in Africa create conflicts. I will start with Juliet Mahapira. She was a presidential candidate listed. And Juliet Mahapira, from where you are, you can talk to us and tell us what happened exactly. Why is your name not on the paper? We saw your name originally among the 51 names, and then we didn't see the name later on. Why is it, has it become personal? Is there something wrong? Chebukati comes from Bungoma, where you also come from. Have you ever collided on something that we need to know? Thank you.
Apologies for that a little bit. Thank you so much. Great afternoon here. Oh yes, what a great question. And I tell you what, yes, I believe that there's a lot of irregularities in the IEBC, and as you've explained earlier on, I have called upon Chebukati Wafula to actually nullify this election. The case is in court as we speak, and in fact, today is expected to be the hearing, and I'm still waiting for the representative to confirm. We went to court on Tuesday, and we were asked, actually Monday, then we were asked to come back on Tuesday. Then we were told again that we needed to come back today. But as you know, today is also a day that the heads of states are meeting. I felt that it's important for us to follow the news in Rwanda as well, and also carry on with campaigning. Why is it important to really have good credibility for the IEBC? And as Dr. says here today, because of our nation, because it's important to treat all the candidates fairly. And the key thing here is fairly. And that is why I took bravery with all humanity, and I want Kenyans to actually support this cause, the petition that I have put. I want Kenyans to look at it very carefully. I want to thank the representatives as well who took the case to court and supported. I'm inviting all the women. You can see even till now, Maendeleo ya Wanawake, has it commented? Ask yourself why, Kenyans. You can see till now, many people are afraid. If a big organization, even such as Maendeleo ya Wanawake, has not asked serious questions as to why women have been excluded from this big election of the country, I want to challenge whether that is good in a country. So, and on behalf of even them, because of course I'm a woman as well, I want to say, I can just imagine the position they would be in, Dr. And is, you know, would they be made to feel that they're supporting a particular candidate either. You see? So this is the reality across Africa. I want to talk about myself here because you've asked me what really happened. If you look at the election, I was gazetted, right? And because I was gazetted, I was actually number 8. Let me see if I can read the latest as to up till when. I will not give the exact dates, but let's just look at the facts here. But I have put my case forward and the representatives will deal with it. And that is critical for any government and any courts. I mean, currently, one can only go to the courts, and the highest court is Milimani, as you all know, Milimani High Court. And we are hoping that the judges look at our cases, because if you're trying to talk to someone who, there's supposed to be a conflict resolution within the IEBC, and if that process as well has got conflict of interest, the question is how are candidates getting real justice for the complaints that they are raising? So that's one aspect of it right there. And I took bravery because I felt that for the justice of every ordinary Kenyan and anyone who wants to stand, we need to put a stop to favorism. We need to put a stop to any kind of nepotism. We need to put a stop to any kind of discrimination or exclusion. We want the process to have the highest, greatest standard and not compromised by petty, horrible politics, as I call it. And anytime I speak about this, I feel like I just want to really explain it in a manner that
that shows how horrible it is.
Correct. That's how, and I would love your help in that.
Since you are in court, don't make comments.
Correct. That is why I'm trying.
That's why you cannot speak like that. So let me ask you. Let me bring you in and bring others in. For us, Miriam, and us on this platform, especially myself, I've been for the last 4 years telling Kenyans that if I were a Kenyan, I would have moved to court to stop Mr. Chebukati from handling my ballot.
I have found the list. Let me read you the last list that had been gazetted. Number 1 was Zangano Party, which was Wahiga David Mwaure, and the deputy was...
You tell us your number. Your number.
My number was number 8. Number 8, yes. Republican Liberty Party, Mahapila Juliet, and of course our deputy is a young youth, Matayo Jarad Obogi. That was my number. So number 8. And this is the list that was expected to go to ordinary Kenyans for people to have great selection. And that's what I believe that good justice is all about. So, and that is what you see all the fuss is all about. So that is my contribution.
That list came from IEBC.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, send us a copy.
And I was not even... for our team, we were told we've rescheduled your meeting. And on the same day we were told we've rescheduled your meeting, on the same day he announced the so-called participation of the persons that he disqualified and the persons that he decided that he wanted to exclude. I call and condemn Chebukati, Wafula, and his administration.
Can you send us the list? We want to publish it.
Thank you. I will. Thank you very much.
Because this is, some people, Miriam, people don't have this evidence. This is very serious.
Correct.
And there is another friend of mine called Jeff Kalui.
Dr. Jeff Kaluyu was excluded with myself, and I believe there's another one. Yes, and they told us they had
what he has done wrong.
That is what they told us. Correct. Yeah.
So
Kenyans need to know the truth. And the truth is Chebukati Wafula, and I will mention him, he needs to be taken to court himself, because you cannot just tell people you've rescheduled something and then expect that that is correct procedures that you followed. So I am not going to silence my voice. I will call you out, and I will call you out for actually asking us and telling us to reschedule. In my case, you even asked that, oh, my paperwork should be signed by notary, which we were in the presence of doing that. And what did you do, Mr. Chepkati? Tell Kenyans what you do. So I call upon the courts of the highest court of Kenya to look into Mr. Chepkati Wafula. We will not resist to call you out. I am the presidential candidate for Republican Liberty Party, and I stand with the women, and I ask that you also meet the 2/3 gender rule that you that was put in the Constitution of Kenya, and you should not mess around with women. And there is no woman. All the candidates, many of the candidates have been disqualified. You better give the right reasons, because we will not be allowing you to just take the office as it is in your home. No, Mr. Chepkati. Tumesema hapana. Juliet Mahapila, I am responsible for my words here today, and I need justice for myself. I say I am fighting for ordinary Kenyans, and I will not stop fighting for ordinary Kenyans. Any candidate that is a Kenyan who wants and wishes to stand should have equal equity. And the word here is equal opportunity and equity, not favorism of somebody who has got money. Yo nimekataa, na Kenya munisikilize vizuri. I am saying it on your behalf as well, because you could be the next president of Kenya. Your dream should not be cut through. Your dream should not be curtailed by horrible politics. We need to send away, and I'm saying it here, I am sick and tired of old recycled, I call them recycled politician here tonight or this afternoon in Kenya. So I am calling it as it is. My candidate was excluded. I've not been told I'm disqualified. I was excluded, basically. Discrimination. Yes. So, atuambie, kwa nini? And if he's saying that he wants to, he can nullify those elections, there's so much irregularities in front of my eyes. So, Chepkati Wafula, tell Kenyans, ordinary Kenyans, what your office is doing to candidates. And also, can I call upon the issue of political parties being given, you will see it in my statement in Milimani High Court today. So I can give you the case reference. So all Kenyans, feel free to look into that case, because I have put all the facts. And thankfully, many of the candidates also have faced similar issues. On my one, I happen to have been standing with a political party, which is Republican Liberty Party. But on the other candidates, they were standing independent. So it's even a lot harder for them. So why should Chepkati put a clause in that actually also discriminates independent candidates? Let's ask him the right questions, Kenyans, fellow Kenyans. And if he's doing harm in support of favoring other candidates, that needs to stop with immediate effect. And the court needs to look into this matter immediately, because it is justice for Kenyans. This is justice for Kenyans. Asanteni.
Thank you very much, Juliet. You have made your point. You have made your case. And now the proof is there, and you have sent the list. I've seen it here. It is sad that the IEBC and the people of Kenya are listening to some of these grievances. Some of these grievances are the ones going to make this election to be nullified. There are people who are not very, very happy with the time of the things that have been done by Chepkati. And yet we are moving on as if nothing has happened. We are even being called for meetings. Chepkati is calling stakeholders meetings. And Raila Odinga is attending this meeting, knowing very well that these are the complaints of other people. Ruto is going to attend this meeting, knowing very well there are complaints that can come, as Marshall Jackson has just told you, that if this election is not held in a proper way, it could bring the Sri Lanka situation on the grounds in Kenya, because food will be said, petrol will be high, prices will be high.
Because
yes.
Transformation in Kenya is needed, and not just in Kenya. Transformation across Africa is needed. 59 years of lack of good delivery. 59 years. So 59 years of lack of good delivery and services for Kenyans. Right now, if you think where Kenyans should be, maisha ya Kenyans, 59 years of wastefulness. And I'm saying it as it is, fellow Kenyans, on your behalf. So for me, we need good leadership, good governance, and even in the pillars that the President Uhuru Kenyatta had sent, people can measure whatever you want to measure. Are Kenyans feeling any better right now? And that is why, one day I woke up and I said to myself, we are always saying we want good leadership. And eventually, and Daktari, I've been telling you, good leadership starts with us. I always say to people, it starts with you. So I said, we're always expecting somebody magical to come in. Why can't I stand? And that is what motivated me to stand. And then you come into a system that also has its own faults, a system that wants to fail its people, a system that is in place and let me add some few people. It's not everyone. Let me add some few people, because it is those few people that want to undermine the Constitution of Kenya. So for me, I want to say transformation of Kenya is needed. Our mindset needs to change. Our mindset needs to evolve and refresh ourselves. By me saying that enough is enough, voters need to be given opportunity and accessibility, equal equity, because if you even see, that's the other thing I forgot to mention, and we should also mention to the court. Can you imagine how long the system says start competition on the 29th of May? You have seen in Kenya, people have been going around for the last 5 years. Straight away, they should be disqualified. They have been going in. So other candidates are coming in. And in fact, that sets the question of whether voters, those people who break the law, should even be allowed to even be competing. They should be disqualified right from the start, because the rules are clear. If they can't read and write, or if they can't read that the law states that 29th is when you're allowed to start your campaign, and so I should actually be declared the winner if I have followed the rules. Why should people who've not followed the rules be declared the winner, or be the people who are competing? Why should we continue practicing corruption? If we are going to fight corruption, we start from this, from the start. You imagine how much money and billions, as you started the program here, is explaining that they are going round and round. Some of them, let's say some of them, you hear stories every day. The youth are not saying lies. Some of the youth work on Anja. They are coming, do this. You can imagine if an ordinary Kenyan had to give so many millions, 21 million or 23 million Kenyans to come and whatever, and you give them a hat. It's not possible, Daktari. So we need to have a ramification or whatever. We need to correct our system, that a good budget should not pass a certain budget, so that Kenyans stop being taken for granted. We cannot have a situation which so much inequality in competition is being presented. And that is why I am calling for the courts to look at this particular case. And in my case, I happen to be blessed, so I will not resist not to call Chebukati Wafula, because put it this way, they talk on the street, I'm from Bungoma, and because I'm from Bungoma, we noticed that, we underestimated she could take the votes from Western, or I'm from Mount Kenya, so the votes of Mount Kenya should not be compromised. I am in that competition, and I want my rights as a Kenyan. I want my rights as an ordinary citizen, and I want my rights as a woman. Women are under specified unit, and you can see Chebukati has broken the rule, Dr.
Okay, thank you very much. Miriam, hey, I think, I thought the Chebukati's problems were only a structure. But from the discussion that I see, Juliet, they seem to be not only structural problems. There are so many ways that you can structure problems that can cause conflict. But the problem of Chebukati have become microstructures. You know, Chebukati has disqualified Juliet Mahapira because Mahapira comes from Bungoma and is going to spoil the Western vote. Whose vote? Whose vote was it? Has Chebukati apportioned votes for people? Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Are you hearing this? I think this, you know, here
in Mount Kenya, apparently.
Yes, and then
so you can imagine.
You can disqualify some people and say they will spoil Mount Kenya vote.
Yeah.
And then from nowhere, Wachikoya, surely the first time Wachikoya arrives, he was rejected. You remember this, Miriam? The first time they rejected Wachikoya. I don't want to say this on, I think I said this on national TV one of these days. Wachikoya called me and said, if they try me, they will receive fire. And I look, I think, I wish Juliet had also called me, because I would have told Juliet, go to that place and tell them you have the best lawyers on earth. You will hire even the QCs from London who will come to finish Mr. Chebukati and leave it for Douglas and Paul. I want to ask you one question. We have just received the signatures which are verified. Now, which signatures are these that the people were supposed to collect? Have you seen the whole?
So signatures are not even the problem.
No, wait, please. I'm asking a question. As a lawyer, I want to understand.
Mm-hmm.
You people were told to collect signatures, 48.
Correct. And I have taken that matter to court as well.
No, 48,000 signatures. From where?
Correct.
Yet the verification of the signatures had not taken place.
Mm-hmm. And so, to bring the IDs of those people. So we are expected to go and carry the IDs from those people as if somebody will give you the ID.
No, if you take a copy of the ID, the person you are taking the copy, by the time you handed the signature, he has already died in Kagamega Hospital. Can you imagine that? Or Bungoma Hospital or Kenyatta Hospital. So is that a signature valid? There are so many grounds of nullification of this vote. So if the government is hearing, the best that the government can do to give Kenyans a free, fair, transparent election, nullified. Just nullify the whole exercise. Let President Uhuru Kenyatta be honest, call back the parliament. I know the MPs will not refuse because some of them need to make some money extra. Nobody is willing to go out now with this type of condition when money is not seen on the streets. You need another 3 months in fix a date for a new election. Yes, this is an emergency. Because already we know this election is going to be disqualified. Miriam, what is the rationale of you Kenyans going to an election? Douglas. Douglas.
Thank you, Dr. David Masanga. I also pray for Juliet Makapira and others who are disqualified by the disgraced chairman of the IEBC and a man that has made sure that he stands on their ambitions and also stifles their democratic right to run for political office in this country. And also, IBC is an institution that we have spoken about for about 3 years today. And in those 3 years, we have also said that IBC is incompetent, technically unprepared for this election. And also, IBC itself, the way it is constituted, Chebukati himself is not properly or mentally prepared for this election. As a chairman of an independent institution, Chebukati should be in his best mind, because you cannot just wake up and make decisions that do not comply with the law, decisions that deny people, other people, their democratic rights. And also, a person that we, the people of Kenya, believe that he has said over 2 years that he is technically unprepared for this election. We believe that Juliet and others will go on to receive justice before the courts of law, because that's their only hope. Their hope is, one, that the courts in the Republic of Kenya, the judiciary, is going to add them justice because they have been denied justice by Chebukati and the IBC. IBC is one institution that cannot mess the people of Kenya lives and property, because elections in Africa, especially in this country, are very contentious. We are said to be a very progressive country until elections happen in this country, until electioneering periods happen in this country. We are said to be a very good and great economy until elections happen. We are said to be a very great country until elections happen. We are said to be a very good destination for business, the regional hub and the gateway to Africa and the region. But until elections happen, we are said to be a very democratic country until these elections happen. Dr. David Matsanga, at this point, we need to nullify the elections in this country that are scheduled for less than 40 days or less than 50 days, and then reconstitute the IBC, kick out Wafula Chebukati that we asked to be kicked out 3 years ago, and also make sure that at the end of the day, we come together and also, as a country, decide on the way that we shall go. If we do not do that, we, the people of Kenya, are going to ban our country from the incompetence of one man, from inept and incapacity of one institution that we should have taken care of over 2 years ago. IBC is an institution that should have been reconstituted for over 2 years and also properly equipped so that they can be also technically equipped to be able to handle this election. And as a patriotic Kenyan, I believe that these elections are going to be very contentious. People like Juliet are very bitter, and they are very bitter because of their of the resources that they've invested, their time, and also stifling of their own democratic rights as Kenyans who want to run for public office and maybe cause a positive and transformative change in this country. If Juliet and others are denied an opportunity by IBC to run and become leaders in this country, what is Chebukati telling us? Is Juliet not enough to run as president of the Republic of Kenya? Is Juliet not democratically chosen to come out there and also make sure that they have also presented themselves to be elected? And I believe that people of Kenya in this country have an equal right to run for political office from MCA to president, so long as you are qualified and you meet the qualifications to become president of Kenya. Nobody should stifle your ambition. You should be given an opportunity and let the people decide. Because in a democratic country, we need to let the people of Kenya decide on the way that they shall go. We need to decide on who becomes our president. If we decide that our next president is President Juliet Makapira, so be it. If we decide that it's Raila Amolo Odinga, so be it. The people of Kenya deserve an opportunity to have leaders on the ballot. We shall have 6 ballot papers from president to MCA, and those leaders shall be elected that day on 9th of August 2022. And that people, the Constitution says on that day that people go out and vote for leaders that they want, not leaders that Chebukati thinks are competent or Chebukati thinks should be given an opportunity. I believe that from the bottom of my heart, the IEBC, the way it is today, cannot hold free, credible, and transparent elections for our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, are you still there? Hello, Paul. Very well. So, of course, the story on the front page of the Daily Nation still on the IEBC. The electoral agency has invited the 4 presidential candidates to a meeting next Wednesday on the back of mounting protest over its controversial ban on the use of the printed voter register on polling day. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has invited the Deputy President William Ruto and Mr. Raila Odinga of Azimio Coalition, Professor George Wajakoya of Roots Party, and Mr. David Maure Wahiga of Agano Party for the meeting that will discuss the results transmission system for the August 9th polls. According to the invitation to the consultative meeting signed by IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati, the forum will also discuss the harmonization of the candidates' campaign schedules. And we know that Azimio's camp and Kenya Kwanza camp, among other civil society, the civil society has already gone to court to challenge Chebukati's the response he had for Azimio last week over not using these physical registers. And we see all these parties involved, they're not comfortable with that decision by the IEBC, and others have cited that it's indeed against the law. And so how should Chebukati solve this matter right now? Juliet?
Yeah, ma'am, here. Before Juliet comes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Chebukati, first of all, has got option, and Daktari has said his powers is a lot. He can either do the right thing and bring back the 5 candidates that myself, Ruto, Raila, and Wajakoya, and of course Wairia, and bring us back 5 candidates, because if the others have been disqualified because they didn't get enough names or whatever, we did. So I believe that is something that Kenyans need choices, not to be given or forced into candidates. And frankly speaking, as I've said, the 2 candidates, personally, I want to say, because I'm in the campaign mode, I want to say that they both need to be sent home. Kenyans have got no choices, really, and that is not how good democratic countries should do their campaign. Finally, I'm not bitter. I am sad. Sadness that brings me into a position of voicing out. It's not a matter of bitterness, because a bitter person cannot express things. It is sadness in a way that our democratic rights as ordinary Kenyans should not be undermined. No democracy that is undermined is good for its nation, and that is why our courts should not be interfered with. Our courts should stick to the highest, and I want to believe that is the case, but we want the court to understand that all these presidents and candidates cannot all have the same kind of cry. Something is not right somewhere. We cannot all be saying, I have told you clearly, I was rescheduled. That was my position. Tuliambiwa, twende turudi. And on the same day or day after, Chebukati went ahead and announced me, despite the fact that I'm number 8. So, what exactly is happening there? Ask yourself a question. And that is why I'm positioning Chebukati in his own mess. Mr. Chebukati, you need to sort out your mess. Don't bring your mess to ordinary Kenyans. Mr. Chebukati, if you can't do your job, you need to be replaced with immediate effect, so that Kenyans can restore responsibility and good responsibility in its system. So what needs to be done? 2 things needs to be done. The judges need to call on Mr. Chebukati and order him to rectify what, if the complaint procedures that are in place are not working because of conflict of interest, which is exactly what is happening. Ask Dr. Jeff, ask anybody. Miriam, they will tell you. Ask people who have witnessed. With Chebukati, if you can't speak, he closes the meeting. Is that how to run meetings, Mr. Chebukati? So you tell Kenyans exactly what is happening in those rooms. And in fact, I feel that some of these meetings should probably even be recorded so that, in the West, every meeting that happens in the council, for example, is recorded so that it is democratic. Yes. Wacha watu waone. And then we need to not close in. Competition is good. Contest is good. If somebody has come out and they want to contest, they should be encouraged, and especially as women. So for you to see that there is no woman, I am disappointed in such I feel that he needs to even be taken to court because he's broken the rules that he's given. So he needs to serve sentencing for that, because for you not to have women in this race, what are we actually saying? I see that as corruption in my eyes, and I truly believe that is corruption in the highest category. And I want to call upon the judges to restore women in this race. I want the judges to look at what we have and some of the candidates. Sadly, let me talk about some of the candidates. Some of them were not even able to go to court because they don't have enough money. It's quite expensive. You really think I'm able to really cover all these costs? I'm asking for Kenyans. Finally, I want to thank every single Kenyan. I want to thank you, Kenyans, because it is because of you that I got the courage to make sure that I put a case, and you encouraged me, your prayers, na mkaniambia tu vizuri, mkaniambia, Juliet, go for it. Juliet, tell us what is happening. So I want to thank even your program for allowing me to air some of these, stuff, because, airing stuff like this, you have to take bravery, Miriam, for them.
Yes, thank us for giving you the platform.
Yeah.
To increase more volume on Chebukati.
Volume is Chebukati tell Kenyans the truth. And the truth of the matter is stop bringing politics that you did in the last election and the previous election. Let us build Kenya, transform Kenyans, and I believe, Chebukati, you should go home as well. Let me add you onto my list of saying go home. Please, wachie wale watu wanaweza kazi, wafanye kazi, so that people can come back and, give Kenyans a true contest. This is not a contest, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Thank you. Paul Onyango was called to talk and he was nowhere. Now he has appeared again. Paul Onyango. Yeah, but you better be attentive or you finish the other matters. Mundiam was calling you, Paul Onyango.
I had a problem with the connection.
Okay, Paul Onyango.
My take is on IBC. I said it some times back earlier that Wafula Chebukati had lost a lot of credibility given the conduct of elections or general election that we had in 2017. Its outcome did not give Chebukati a very good image to conduct another election. However, some commissioners who worked with Chebukati resigned early after elections. But it took a long time to replace the same commissioners who resigned. Now, Chebukati will have to get a lot of problems, given that he had worked for some years with nearly half of the quorum of the commission. Then new people came in. They had to be acclimatized with the commission and how it's going on. Chebukati was also conducting some businesses on behalf of the commission with less the required number to conduct a general election. So there are so many challenges that Chebukati has to take care of, including his incompetency to interpret the law, to apply the law, and also be firm on his stand. There are some things that keep on repeating itself if you look at the history of Chebukati, given that he came late in the last general election. The issue of voter register, this had been canvassed before 2017 election in a court of law. A ruling was made. Come this general election, Chebukati has already said he doesn't have the manual voter. People will be using chem kits. We hear that some of these kits, some of them were stolen. Very many things have happened. So I do not know where the credibility of this election is. Another thing that you find with the Chebukati team, clearing of some candidates are not being cleared. So there's a question of some candidates forging certificates. Chebukati is not clear. He's saying that his body does not do the verification. Now, when there was a meeting that was organized by the government, that all the parties that are supposed to be involved with the election exercise, Chebukati said he will walk away. He cannot be, I don't know, for lack of a better word, he was saying that he's being micromanaged by the government. Had Chebukati accepted that committee to be set up early enough, some of the problems that we are facing now might have been dealt with. So he had been left now, do it the way you want it. Now he has found himself burning from all sides. So Chebukati is somebody who is wasting our time in that commission. Even if it is a matter of postponing it, but he should not be the one conducting election. That is my take.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miriam. There is something that I want to say here to add on the voices of the three people. And it is not annoyance. It's not to get annoyed. It's sadness. It's complete sadness that a country that has already seen 1,300 people die because of a badly managed election in 2007, that a country that has seen in 2017 a badly managed election, property, people, baby Pendo and others perish because of police despairing people. That a country that has seen all this since 1992 can continue to see and watch a person, one single person, directing them towards the mouth of a whale to be swallowed. A whale is going to swallow you. A country that has seen and wants peace and sings peace and wants democracy. A country that has changed the governments without military coups allows an electoral commission chairman to mess up an election. There must be something very wrong. What are the main contentious issues? The electoral law lays down each candidate, each position, requirements for each candidate for each position. Mr. Chebukati writes to all candidates to bring their degrees. Mr. Candidates or Madam Candidates gather all their documents, dust the dust on them, carry them to Mr. Chebukati. Mr. Chebukati allows some and refuses some, and yet he comes back out and says he doesn't have the capability to verify whether the degree was a degree or not. That's one inaccuracy, or one ground that anybody can go to court and nullify this election. The second election, inaccuracy, is the question of shortlisting 51 candidates. On what merit did you shortlist them? Applications are shortlisted on merit. The first stage of merit of shortlisting, you have the qualifications needed. Somewhere in the middle, you all of a sudden come with 16 names cut from 51. Out of the 16, you pick out the ones that you like most. And all of them which you have agreed they are 16, they have the required documentation. And before you do that, you pick your typewriter or your laptop and write an email, a letter to the EACC seeking certificate to clear the following 241 candidates, 40 that you have doubts about. The EACC does its homework, gives you a list. And one of the requirements of you being a candidate in any position is you must have a clearance certificate from the EACC. Now, EACC gives you the clearance and the notes and some confidential material about each candidate. You turn around and say, I will clear these candidates based on Article 75 without reading Article 73. There you are. There you are. That's where we are. That's where we are. We are in a zigzag, a cul-de-sac, which Miguna said is a cul-de-sac. We have candidates cleared. We have doubts about the candidates. You have now told the EACC to give you a certificate. Now, the EACC says we shall not issue certificates to the same people we recommended that they should not be on the ballot. My main question now today, as Paul preaching to the Philippians, as a Gentile speaking to the Jews, the owners of the nation called Kenya, remember my words, that if this is not a confusion, what do you call it? If this is not a total mess of an election, what do you call it? Do you call it another name? Just give a dog another name, then slaughter the dog? Is this an election or a comedy, which is not even near Shakespeare, because Shakespeare was thorough? A comedy that is not even near Zelensky, because Zelensky's comedies used to make him money. The Ukrainian president, remember, was a comedian and he was making money. But Wafula cannot even make money out of the comedy, because the comedy of Wafula is like a Julius Caesar's ending. Julius Caesar was being told that you will be killed. He said there is no anybody who can kill me, everybody is like a Karupra. My wife, Karupra. My wife. I don't know Wafula, I don't know the name of the wife of Wafula or Chebukati, but I will seek to know the name today. Because you know, some men need to be addressed with their wives coming in, then they can, unafika nyumbani, when you reach home, the wife is on you. Said, where, you are punishing too many people one. You know, wives can control such people. Because I have seen Wafula not giving people freedom. People are speaking and it tells them to switch the microphone off. That is not democratic. You are running an institution that has got to convince people. The whole East Africa stands, looks at this election. The whole Africa looks at Kenya. If Kenya has got a cough, the Africa will have a cough. Kenya is usually the first capital, even if a president is overthrown from West Africa. The first country that you would like to go for exile is Kenya. Where will people go? The Republican Party of Makapira presented a woman candidate. But a woman candidate was checked out. Not even called for. I have my friend Jeff Kalui was also checked out. Are these not the things for people to speak about? Shouldn't we talk about them? Are we leaving a legacy? A legacy where people don't know the left and the right? Is this not already a failed election? Isn't it? If it's not a failed election, what is it? What is it? I submit.
Very well. And I think, Doc, you brought up an issue there that perhaps they've not been able to look at from that perspective, because IEBC, while clearing Sakaja and his degree, they say that they don't have the capacity to check whether whatever has been brought to them is true or false, because there are other agencies that have been tasked with carrying out that process. But when these agencies do their job and present this report to him, he also ignores, as in the case of the report that was presented to him by the EACC. So you wonder, you don't have the capacity, but the people who have the capacity and who should be helping you with this background check have already done that for you, and that is what they have presented, and you still go ahead and not pay attention to that. So I think that is interesting there. And we do have, I think there are a couple of clips that you shared earlier. I think that one for Commonwealth. Should we play that, or the other one for Wajakoya? Or we just,
I think let's begin with Wajakoya.
Okay.
Because Wajakoya's clip, thank you very much. Wajakoya has just released his manifesto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know whether you have seen it. It has got 25.
He's trending.
You saw?
Yeah. He's trending.
Some of the things are very crazy.
Anything from Wajakoya cannot be surprising to me at all, I think, at this point.
But I think some things are surprising. Medium, as we are on live, we have, as we are on live TV, I would like to inform you that there is an opening ceremony for the Chogam Head of State Conference in Kigali taking place right now. And it is taking place right now in Kigali. The Chogam Conference is taking place in Kigali right now. The opening ceremony, all heads of state have arrived. They will have 3 days of marathon consensus sitting. You have made your way. Thank you very much. We want to leave you, Juliet, to go into the ceremony. Thank you very much for being with us, Juliet, this morning. Thank you very much. Enjoy your ceremony. Asante sana. We shall carry on. Greet the people of Rwanda and say hi to them. It is not yet lost until it is lost. So don't give up hope. Thank you for fighting for women across the globe. In the United Kingdom, when you entered London Guildhall University, year one, I thought I couldn't see that you could come out to stand like this. You have been a member of the Liberal Party. We have all along been on opposite sides in the UK. I'm a member of the Labour Party and you are a member of the Liberal Party. So we don't see eye to eye on some of the things, the policies of the United Kingdom. But you have inspired me by saying you came and said you better be one of the contenders of the seat of the presidency in Kenya. That's a very big inspiration. And I wish Madam Indira Gandhi, not Indira Gandhi, I wish Madam Benazir Bhutto, who was partly a lecturer in law and political science in Calcutta House, had been around. He would be very pleased to see the person we used to hammer. She used to not drink, but drink water in our canteen. She would be pleased, especially Makapila you used to have to go with your fellow friends in the Calcutta House. And then you had another canteen on the other house where they study law. So I am happy as an old girl of that university. We are happy that you came, you saw, you tried, you conquered, you are left in the river Jordan in the middle. But don't worry, we shall try to resurrect you. Somehow we shall fight for you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the opening ceremony as it is right now taking place. Heads of state, 54 of them, and governments are seated in Kigali. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you, but I want to leave you with hope that I still believe in justice, and I still believe that it's not over until God says it's over. So I believe so much in the rule of law, and I'm sure that you will be seeing me campaigning, and I'm still campaigning because I have not been disqualified. And if they have not been disqualified, the rule is I'm going to continue until we get the rule of law. Kenyans, don't forget to vote for me. I will ask the court to put me with justice. We will get this with no corruption. Na ninawaambia wa Kenya, let us make sure that we send these horrible politicians back home. It is time. 59 years of non-delivery. We need an alternative, Kenyans, and that person is myself. Asante sana. Kenyans, vote for me, and remember, with God, all things are possible. Remain calm. Asanteni sana. I love you, Kenyans, and I love all the programs. Milimani Court, we are watching, and I hope there will be a great ruling. Let's continue to pray for our judges so that our judges don't get any corruption or people corrupting them. I'm praying for every single judge around Africa, not just in Kenya. Asanteni sana, and I pray that the heads of state will be ruling out greatness for the people of Africa. That is why that is why I make so much effort, because I believe in good politics and I believe in people of Africa. That is why this meeting in Kigali is very, very important. And let's hope that our heads of state will be looking into improving the lives of Africans and assure Africans that they are for the better. The world is changing. Let's look after our youth here today. Let us remember, youth work on njaa. They need employment. We need food security. The pricing of food is going up. African leaders here today, I'm here and I'm watching closely. I tell you what, sitawacha kupigania haki zetu. Wakenya, asante sana. Be blessed. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Asanteni. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. viewers, I think if we can pick that clip right from the heads of state are leaving the hall. The Commonwealth has been officially opened. All heads of state were present in the Commonwealth and the government. Among them, President Kenyatta of Kenya and many other people, presidents who have assembled in Rwanda, Kigali. There is a break in Rwanda, Kigali, so let's finish our business. Miriam Wajikoya, let's see, put him on production team.
Okay. So now we have a few photos here. I want you to look at the screen, yeah? And I want us to get our first photo. Look at that screen, yeah? That is you.
3 years ago.
Just 3 years ago. Okay. And then how does one go from this to the next photo here?
Because I was a capitalist at that time.
And now what are you?
Now,
to this? Is this 3 years?
This is real me.
3 years difference.
This
is the real you.
The real me who was a street boy.
Yeah, okay.
The real me who was born in the streets of Nairobi, my man. You know what, man? Yeah.
So how do you move from that to that? Is it you changed from capitalist to who you were in 3 years?
Well, when I was there, I had to be a capitalist by wearing nice, unaenda kotini. Whenever sijuzi nilikuwa kotini kwa kesi ya anaitwa nani? Oscar Sudi. So uliona hii?
Niliona.
Akili yangu ilipunguka. Lakini huko lazima you are forced unakaa hivi. Wengine walikuwa wakiniambia ati ukienda studio vaa suti, nikamwambia nyanyako.
Okay. Kabla tuende kunyanyasa watu, Prof, if you have any,
Miriam, I have no words to say, but I've read the manifesto of my friend Wakikoya. Perhaps any of you have comments. I don't have.
Doc, me and you, I also don't have comments. I watched that video earlier. But what I think he was trying to say, especially when he was being asked about his dress code, I think when he's trying to say that when he dresses the way he dresses nowadays, I think to appeal to his, what will be his voters, he feels more comfortable, that's him, compared to maybe how he dresses when he goes to court and all that. And I don't know. I think it's just Wajakoya being Wajakoya at this point.
Miriam, sometime back, I recommended that Kenyan law MPs should pass a law that when you want to become a president, you also give them your health certificate. I don't know. I believe one day somebody in the parliament of Kenya will do so. That if you want to stand for any position, which is meaning managing people, you need one psychiatric certificate, a certificate from medical doctors saying you are fit to stand for some of these positions. Because frankly speaking, we have a very big problem here, and it is going to eat into us. Analysts, we correct it now. Some of these members are not very stable, and that they could, if you know, and God at times tests people and says, try it. But this one is a very delicate trial. How you will separate marijuana from medicine to smoking, which makes people have a bang and cut you, is what I have not found. And how on earth Mr. Chebukati was able to clear a person when knowing very well the laws of Kenya prohibit marijuana. is what I cannot tell. So that's why, unless you people have comments, I have no comments. I am able to listen. Douglas.
No comment.
Paul.
I just have just something to add on what Miriam has spoken about the dressing code of Mr. Ojekoya. If you are a serious presidential candidate, okay, he started to, okay, his campaign agenda of banking and, in other words, ban, not even smoking it, for medicinal use and snake farming. His dress code, these things do not match at all. It speaks, he's speaking to a different, maybe I can call it a different religion. It seems he was just creating excitement to a certain quarter of the electorate. But he needs to appeal to everyone. That is what he's forgetting about himself. He needs to appeal to each and every electorate if he's serious for presidential bid. If he continues in that way, which means he had already selected a group of electorate, which means he might not garner what he wants. That's my comment.
Medium, no comment, like me. We leave it there. Let's move on to the Commonwealth. It has now officially, whether Miriam likes it or I like it or not, it has opened officially. And the heads of state, including Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, flew in. And he was among the guests that have just done the opening ceremony. And I believe he's flying back to come and chair the meeting of, I don't know whether it has been postponed, the one of Azimio. He might be flying back. But the Commonwealth, what is it? It is a good organization, but it stands on the periphery when Africa needs it most. It has been the 15 countries that are in the Commonwealth in Africa stand at times at an hour of need when that need is needed. Commonwealth acts on consensus, not on elections, no electoral rules. That's why they always issue the same conference, the same statements, and the same statements that they issue everywhere regarding the elections. But let's look at another view. There are views, people in the world who think Commonwealth is not their hobby. Some countries are asking to pull out, not to pull out, but to become Republican with their own self-governing institutions. Kenya has done that, but still has links with the Commonwealth. Let's play that clip of one of the clips that I sent you of the Commonwealth.
Rwanda is in news again. The latest headline has nothing to do with the asylum seekers. It is about the country that was planning to dump them in Rwanda. I'm talking about the United Kingdom. Centuries ago, Britain decided to go about colonizing the world. Today, its past conquest is known as the Commonwealth. It's a group of nations supposedly pursuing quote-unquote common goals and values. The British Queen sits at the helm of this group. Under her are 54 countries with 2.5 billion people. And there is little in common between them. This, of course, does not matter to Rwanda. It is scrubbing buildings and roads, preparing for the Commonwealth Heads of Government Summit. 2 days from now, Rwanda will be hosting this big event. There's a slight problem, though. You see, Rwanda was never part of the British Empire. It was colonized by the Germans and then the Belgians. So why is Rwanda hosting a summit meant for erstwhile British colonies? quick FYI, Rwanda joined the Commonwealth in the year 2009, and it did so to get back at France. Now, these two countries have been bickering ever since the 1994 genocide. Joining the Commonwealth was supposed to be a diplomatic slap for France. Also, it looked good on Rwanda's CV. Mozambique is another non-British Empire country that is now part of the Commonwealth. But Mozambique is not hosting the upcoming summit. Rwanda is. The question is why? Getting back at France is one thing. Spending precious resources on a summit is quite another. The Commonwealth Summit is Rwanda's day in the sun, in fact. Its chance to showcase its progress. The country has had a dark history complete with the genocide. We recently spoke about it on this show. Today, Rwanda is trying to write a fresh story. It has modernized its capital. In fact, Kigali is where the summit will be held. Rwanda's leader will show off the country's economy, talk about how it's been growing annually at an average rate of 7.2%. Rwanda will likely focus on its parliament, where 60% of the members are women. That's a world record, by the way. So this summit is basically a PR stunt for them. We wish Rwanda all the best with that. Here's a more important question now. What's the point of this summit? Irrespective of who hosts it, what does this event plan to achieve for its members? Unlike what the British monarchy would want you to believe, today there is nothing common between Commonwealth countries apart from dark history, the dark history they share. The colonial past is something most Commonwealth nations would want to move on from. Many have dumped the British Queen as their ceremonial head of state. Barbados was the latest one to do that. If you ask the people of these countries, they will tell you that they do not mind dumping the Commonwealth too. After all, what purpose does it serve? What is the relevance of the Commonwealth in the year 2022? Is it a trade alliance? In 2018, the Commonwealth pledged to boost trade. The goal was to secure $2 trillion worth of trade within the bloc. 2 trillion. 2030 was set as the deadline. We are in 2022. There's virtually no progress, and that may not change in the years ahead. The UK knows this far too well. Commonwealth accounts for just 9% of the UK's total trade. So no, it's not a trade alliance. Is the Commonwealth then an economic grouping? How can it be? It is not a grouping of equals. It is a confused mix of some of the world's richest and some of the world's poorest countries. Think about it. What common economic goal can Ghana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Canada, St. Kitts and Nevis, India and the Nauru set? You get the point. Next question. Is the Commonwealth a strategic alliance, like the Quad? The answer again is no, because where is the common strategic goal? So then what defines this alliance? What is it about? What's the purpose? These are questions that member states should be thinking about as they head to the Rwanda summit. What is the Commonwealth even doing apart from reminding the UK of its glorious days? Rwanda does not mind paying for that flashback. And that's because Paul Kagame likes cozying up to the West. He's called the West's favorite dictator. He's on their good books. The US and the UK hardly criticize Kagame for the repressions in Rwanda and the political killings abroad. Boris Johnson even trusts him with asylum seekers. So we know why Rwanda is hosting this summit. We also know why the UK is attending it, to relive the Great Britain days. But what about the rest? Why are these 50-odd countries going for the summit? Apart from the fundamental issue of celebrating a colonial relic, there have been no great outcomes from past summits. So if this is just about a photo op, then members can safely skip it, focus on the problems at home, and dump the Commonwealth for good, we say. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, viewers. You have heard it all. I live in the Commonwealth. I am also a Commonwealth Journalist Association chapter of United Kingdom. I was invited in the Commonwealth to attend the summit. It is here. This letter was sent to me with my program and my hotel where I should be able to pay. And then there will be an allocation. I was supposed to speak on a sideline conference on peace and security in the Commonwealth. But I was not able to attend. But I was able to attend the one of London. I think the one of London. Where was I? Yes, I was working on the ICJ case. And I managed to pass by London when the heads of state were there. Now, the problem that we have in the Commonwealth, why people are beginning to be very apprehensive. The topic of this is not making headlines. It is unfiltered show. I don't see why they are making the analysis of political current affairs. No. Miriam, it is unfiltered show on the back, so that people can understand we are discussing different issues of unfiltered. We say the truth. There are good things that the Commonwealth has done, significant, 3/4, about 90%. But it leaves that 10% that makes people not agree. Each one has an opinion. But for me, 90% Commonwealth. The 10% that what Commonwealth should do is now to inject in capital into their states, so that there is a difference between being in the UN and being in AU and being in European Union and being in a Francophone. There is a difference. There should be a difference. We should boost the countries that are suffering. We should encourage the countries that have democracy, where democracy has shrunk, democratic norms. Encourage them to bring up a democracy that will see Commonwealth countries shining. We should encourage countries to desist from corruption. Are we doing that today? The answer looks like very far from the word yes. Therefore, what else can we do to transform the Commonwealth? Apart from condemnation, we have to make a step and ask for what is supposed to be done, and do it very precisely to the level that will make people understand the seriousness of these matters. So I believe Commonwealth, the English we are speaking, came from Commonwealth. It is becoming an international language across the world. For it to play a significant role and remain relevant, it must change the course of what in strategic management we would call changing the river backwards. Because if you leave it going forward, are we helping? The world changes, but go back and see what were the origins, the original Commonwealth. What did we start it for? Why did we start it? Why was it there? To protect the countries that were English-speaking countries. But we have a war in Cameroon. And I saw the Prime Minister of Cameroon, who is representing Paul Biya, seated there laughing. The massacres that are taking place in Cameroon. We have chaos in Nigeria. I saw Buhari seated there. And Buhari, nobody is questioning Buhari that why are people... I listened to the story of the Aboke, the girl, one of the girls who was abducted yesterday, who came back, who managed to run away. Kibuku girls. I was very terrified. So what can we do? What can the Commonwealth do to change the trends and turn those countries, especially the ones in Africa, to the right cause, including Rwanda? I therefore submit and I say, unless there's something else that my friends can say, let me begin with Douglas, then Paul Onyango, then return to Miriam, and then we close the show. Douglas. Douglas. Douglas.
Pa.
I don't know if he's saying he will pass or I don't know. Douglas, we can't hear you. We can move on to Paul.
Miriam, thank you very much. I think Douglas is off. Paul Onyango, do you have anything you want to say?
Yes, you can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Are you hearing me? Are you able to hear me?
Go ahead, Paul, we can hear you.
Okay,
some breaking news coming. The IEBC has suspended, the High Court has suspended the decision of IEBC not to have physical voter registers as a complementary system in the event of failure of technology. Allah. Twalina omukwano negufa. So where does this put this election, Miriam?
It has confirmed my word.
Until that order is done, shall we have enough time to move this election? Is it compounding a position for the president to simply say this cannot take place? What time do they have to print those registers? When will they be printed? Who's printing them? Hello?
Yes, doctor.
Can we have Douglas waking up?
Paul was
no,
speaking.
Douglas? I had a connection problem. I think it completes the cycle that we've been talking about, that the IBC has been technically not prepared for this election. And also, they have also sabotaged themselves. For over 2 years, you cannot be thinking about an issue. And then when the push comes to the shove, then you keep blaming the courts because IBC is not taking responsibility for this election. Because Miriam commented on an issue that I think is very contentious, and I think IBC should be held liable for the same. Miriam said that if the Commission for Higher Education is given the mandate to be able to verify these degrees, if they say that your degree is fake and they present the same information to IBC, IBC ignores that and does not act on that. The EACC flagged over 241 people and made sure that these people would not make it to the ballot. IBC ignored the same. And also, we have had issues where IBC is blatantly ignoring signs of failure in this election, Dr. David Matsanga. The Communications Authority of Kenya has done their part, and the IEBC continues blaming them and saying that they are supposed to do this and that and that and that, as if their mandate is not properly stipulated. And now the court has also brought a note to the nonsense that is this election that the IEBC has been able to preside over. You cannot preside over a dead election or an election that is going to fail, Dr. David Matsanga, and expect that a miracle is going to happen in 40 days. Wafula Chebukati should be jailed for contempt on the people of Kenya, and also making sure that he is leading this country to war, Dr. David Matsanga. How do we conduct elections from here? Where do we go from here, Dr. David Matsanga? I think, from my perspective, the IEBC, the Commission, and also the way we know it today should be properly constituted before we hold the next elections, which are supposed to be held in less than 45 days. And I think in the next 44 days, this country is going to be redefined. I think we are going to imagine the IEBC the way we know it today. The incompetence of one Wafula Chebukati has cost this country our peace and stability as we know it, because in the next 44 days, if Wafula Chebukati goes ahead with his incapacity, inept, and incompetence, and conducts an election that is going not to be free, credible, and transparent, Dr. David Matsanga, this country is going to ban. We told Chebukati over 2 years ago that this country is going to be banned by only that commission alone. The Commission for Higher Education has done its job. The IEBC, the EACC has done their job. CAK, Communications Authority of Kenya, has done its job. The only incompetent commission we have in this country is the IEBC, led by Wafula Chebukati, who claims to be a lawyer, a man that has ignorantly gone ahead to take this country on a downward spiral, and makes sure that at the end of the day, at the end of the 44 days, that this country cannot stand as we know it. Dr. David Matsanga, I'm calling on the President of the Republic of Kenya to take on Parliament, to ask Parliament to postpone this election so that we can prepare properly, so that IEBC can be able to replace Wafula Chebukati and properly conduct this election. And I said, Dr. David Matsanga, from a very patriotic point of view, over 2 years ago, there is no harm in even taking 2 years or 3 years to conduct proper elections, credible, free, and transparent in this country, so long as we hold our country dear, life and property of Kenyans are protected. What is the area that we are in, lashing into an election that is going to ban our country? We do not want an opportunity where we take our country like into a very terrible opportunity, like in 2007, 2008. This country is bigger than an election, and where are we rushing? People have been losing and winning these elections since 1963, Dr. David Matsanga. We have nowhere to run as people of Kenya. We have no other country to call home if we hold these elections and ban this country because of incompetence, inept, and incapacity of one man, Wafula Chebukati, and his commission. The IEBC today, as we know it, is not capable of holding free, transparent, and credible elections in this country, Dr. David Matsanga. The courts are proving the same. We've been saying the same. The IEBC should suspend this election, and actually the President of the Republic of Kenya should not let such things to happen to this country. This country is very peaceful. It should not bequeath the next generation of a country that means a lot of reconstruction. It should not bequeath the next generation of leaders a country that means to be reconstructed before we take off and continue the legacy, a beautiful legacy that he has left. A country that is on a transformative journey. We cannot take our country back because we want to hold elections, and we have also refused to kick out one man, Wafula Chebukati, from the IEBC. Thank you.
Okay. Paul?
Thank you. Paul, you have anything?
Yes. I was saying, according to the breaking news, those are the sentiments of the court. Some of these things were canvassed before 2017 elections. I think Chebukati is just not doing as a honest job for us concerning elections or this year's election. He can ask for more time. We will give him time. Then we conduct a proper election. Coming back to Commonwealth organization, as you had already said it, we need to identify ourselves, the Commonwealth members, from other forms of associations or political associations or economical associations. There should be a difference what attracts them, if it is in terms of democracy, in terms of development, social issues. We need to identify ourselves with a particular way of life, if possible. We do not just have to belong to a group because maybe we were colonized by UK. In other words, there should be, as you propose, there should be a fund, there should be a way how we conduct our things, even if it's elections, if it is disputes, we need to identify for ourselves, this is the way we are supposed to handle them. Instead of staying in a blanket organization where we don't know where we are heading, we are just existing there in the name of colonization. I think if we move up in that order, we are likely to see some of the failed institutions within the member countries rising up to the occasions to serve, especially in Africa, to serve the interest of the common mwananchi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul. Doc, back to you.
I think I have nothing, Miriam. Thank you very much, all of you, for having participated in this show. And I thank you very much that next week we shall see a very vibrant week. We shall begin on Monday with listening to ICC closing statements and maybe shocks of a pre-bargain or whatever comes on Monday, the day in the morning at 9:30, which is 11:30 of East African Standard Time, or 10:30, yes, 10:30, sorry, of Central European Time, 9:30 of Central European Time, which is 10:30 of our time. We shall be glued to see what comes out and what submissions are made. I want to thank all of you for having been there for the whole week. Don't forget that we shall be having Mr. Stephen. I will send you the number of Mr. Nathan Marshall Jackson. He will be bringing us the daily changes on his farm as a legacy as we go through our regions by region. Next week, we shall have also a farmer from Western Kenya and our investigative journalist, Wesonga, has arranged one of the younger farmers who will be bringing, and then the other week, we shall also have a farmer from Garissa who has been rearing goats and trying to plant some cabbages, carrots. We shall be doing that from time to time. God willing, next week we shall be on the move. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for the patronage. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Miriam and the studios, all of you back there. Thank you very much. It has been a very terrible week for you in Nairobi. Cold, 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 cold. Here we are. Thank you very much. God bless you. This is Punchline Africa Television, the only television south of Sahara, for Africa, with Africa, by Africa. Allah, ciao.